Welcome to Romance Story Audio. In the midst of this fast-paced world, thank you for taking a moment to slow down and listen. We hope this brings you peace and comfort. Now, here is the story Romance Story Audio brings to you today. Please, enjoy. I decided to ignore everything. Right after our final exam, my whole class started planning a trip. I, Rachel, casually suggested we go hiking and have an outdoor picnic. But I remembered seeing a weather forecast that said a major storm was coming in the next few days. So I immediately tried to stop everyone from going. The moment I voiced my concern, Tracy burst into tears. "Rachel, are you looking down on me because I'm from a poor family? Is that why you're opposing my idea?" she cried. Before I could even explain, Dylan Smith, the guy who was always saying he'd win me over, jumped in with a scowl. "Yeah, Rachel, just admit you're jealous of Tracy already. She just wants all of us to have fun, and here you are cursing us like that. You're so petty." I tried to explain until my throat went dry. In the end, most of them got scared something really would happen, so they listened to me and stayed home. Only Tracy and Dylan insisted on going, one with blind optimism, the other with misplaced chivalry. Dylan, unable to stand seeing Tracy wronged, rented a private car for just the two of them. As a result, there was a landslide that day. They survived, barely, but were in the hospital for months. Honestly, I was relieved they lived. I thought that would be the end of it. But as soon as she regained consciousness, Tracy went live online and exposed me. She told everyone I had known something bad would happen, but didn't warn them. She accused me of hating her because Dylan cared more about her than me. Even those who stayed home because of my warning backed up her story. They said I was jealous of Tracy, and that's why I set her up. Someone even claimed that if they had known an accident would happen, they'd rather have gone and suffered with her. I was left speechless. If not for me, would they even be lounging at home safely right now? Didn't I try to stop them? How the hell did I set up Tracy? What am I, the mountain god? I stomp once and cause a landslide? What exactly am I jealous of? The fact that her family can barely afford rent while mine owns 500 businesses across the US? Or that I'm the one who's pretty, smart, and top-ranked in the entire state? Ridiculous. But the internet didn't care. They only heard one side and came at me like a storm. I didn't even need to deactivate my account. It got hacked on its own. This mess even reached the university I was about to attend. They sent me an email demanding I clear things up immediately. Otherwise, I could kiss my Stanford admission goodbye. I was on vacation in South Korea when I got the news. I had to cut my trip short and fly back to the States. Somehow, someone leaked my flight info. The moment I landed, a group of people was already waiting, with baskets of eggs in hand. For a second, I thought I'd landed at the wrong airport. But honestly, I found it more funny than scary. I called over a flight attendant and whispered, "Hey, do you want to get rich?" Noticing all the designer brands I was wearing, she knew I wasn't bluffing. She leaned in and asked, "Sweetheart, what do you need from me?" Pretend to be me. When we land, go down there and take the egg attack from that crazy mob waiting outside. I'll have a bodyguard escort you. $200,000. It's a little messy, she said. I smirked. Messy? Come on, girl. I'm a trust fund baby. You'd be dying rich. In that moment, I swear her eyes lit up. She looked at me like I was a holy savior. I couldn't help but laugh as we closed the deal. She had a similar body type, wore a mask, and with the bodyguard beside her, everyone at the airport naturally assumed she was me. Leading the mob was Tracy Myers. Her face still wrapped in bandages, but she dragged herself there anyway. "Rachel Lynn, I know you didn't mean to ruin me like this," she said dramatically. "But now my face is destroyed. You have to take responsibility. How am I supposed to show my face in public again? Just give me $1 million for reconstructive surgery. Your family's filthy rich anyway." She wiped her tears as she spoke, and people around her actually started feeling sorry for her. Even the flight attendant I hired started looking unsure, maybe even thinking I was the villain in this story. But once the string is drawn, the arrow must be fired. Before she could say anything, Dylan Carter stepped up and shouted, "Rachel Lynn, I know you've been jealous ever since I started caring more about Tracy, just because her family's struggling. I've told you again and again, I see her like a little sister, but your bitter heart never believed me. You tried to hurt both of us. I was so wrong about you." Their words instantly fired up the crowd. Someone even started live streaming the whole thing for all of social media to feed on. The flight attendant probably realized things were going south and tried to explain herself. But just then, Tracy threw herself down and grabbed onto her leg, sobbing. Dylan tried to pull Tracy off, clearly heartbroken, but she clung onto the attendant like she was magnetized. He snapped, "Give her the money and I'll let this go. I'll even give you a chance to pursue me. But if you don't you ever dream of getting close to me again." I was watching all of this unfold from a distance, nearly dying of laughter. From day one, Dylan declared he was going to chase me like some devoted puppy, and now he claimed he only ever saw Tracy as a little sister? If she was really just a sister, why'd he leave an extra breakfast bun on my desk every morning, then say he bought two because he had no small change? Why'd he insist I let Tracy carpool in his beat-up Camry while I drove a brand new Tesla, just so he could help a struggling student? He never loved me. He just loved the idea of bragging about chasing someone like me. And me? I never even spared the guy a glance. Still, rumors spread that I didn't talk to him because I felt unworthy. What a joke. You think that's wild? It got better. The flight attendant, freaked out, raised her hand to take off her mask and explain. But right then, Tracy screamed and collapsed dramatically on the ground. "Gina, are you okay?" Dylan cried out. "You cruel woman, how dare you!" Smack! Dylan Carter slapped the flight attendant so hard the air shook. The bodyguard finally stepped in, blocking him just in time. The woman quickly caught on. Her brain shifted into gear. She realized everything. "I didn't even do anything to her," she shouted. "We all saw it. You're just a vile woman." The live stream was still rolling, and the internet exploded in rage. My phone vibrated non-stop. I tossed it to the bodyguard and pulled out my backup. Just then, my dad called. "Sweetheart, where are you? Are you safe? Who the hell is the bodyguard I hired protecting right now?" "Don't worry, Dad," I said calmly. "I'm just watching a live show." In the background, I heard his assistant, Mr. Liu, say nervously, "Sir, our stock price is dropping again." That's when the panic hit me. I had planned to let the rumors die down naturally over time. But clearly, I had underestimated the sheer insanity of the online mob. While I was still trying to come up with a solution, a piercing scream rang out from below. The crowd had begun hurling eggs directly at the flight attendant. Even with the bodyguard shielding her, the sheer number of people meant she still took several hits. Meanwhile, Tracy Myers sobbed in Dylan Carter's arms. That evil witch should just die already. How the hell did someone like her get into Stanford? She must have slept with an admissions officer. If she doesn't pay up, she's not getting away with this. "I've had enough of this psycho circus," the flight attendant muttered. She ripped off her mask, but the crowd kept throwing eggs, only for two particular mummies to freeze in horror. "Wait, that's not Rachel Lynn?" "What? She's not Rachel!" Everyone immediately stopped. Tracy turned pale, but too late. The police arrived just in time. "Freeze! You're all under arrest for disturbing the peace and assaulting another individual." "What kind of cops are you? Can't you see we're just demanding justice? She must have bribed you too." Yeah, these cops should be fired. Not just the rioters. Even people watching the live stream started flaming the police in the comments. They couldn't tell right from wrong. The crowd had branded themselves heroes of justice, and now, the real law enforcement were suddenly the villains. How ridiculous. But even so, they couldn't escape arrest. They would have to compensate the flight attendant for her injuries and public humiliation. Once that was announced, everyone's expression changed immediately. They flipped faster than pancakes. "It wasn't me, it was them. Those two dragged me here. I'm just a regular person. How would I have known anything?" "Yeah, Blame that couple over there. They planned the whole thing. Seriously, guys? We were all fighting for justice 5 minutes ago, and now you're turning on us. Can't you see how pitiful Tracy is? You're all blaming her now? It's Rachel Lynn's fault. Where is she? Come out, Rachel. Oh yeah, it's all my fault, I muttered with a smile from afar. Next time you step in dog poop, that'll be my fault too, because I didn't cover your eyes. What a joke. The show was over. I casually got into the car with my bodyguard, leaving Dylan Carter behind, screaming his lungs out like a madman. Now came the real problem. I had no idea how to prove my innocence. Everyone in class had turned their backs on me, siding with their poor, pitiful Tracy Myers. There wasn't a single person who would vouch for me. And even if someone did, who would believe them? Look at that cop from earlier, just doing his job. And even he was accused of being bribed. Tracy hated me so much that even if this storm passed, another one would come right after. I needed to find a way to deal with her once and for all. As I was deep in thought, the driver suddenly called out, "Miss Lynn, I think someone's here to see you." What? Did someone leak my address too? I looked up cautiously and saw a shadowy figure standing nearby. Even through the tinted glass, his eyes pierced right through me. Zachary Hughes. What the hell was he doing here? He was Dylan Carter's close friend, quiet, cold, and always hard to read. I'd always seen Zachary as a rival. He was always second place in exams, trailing me by less than 10 points every time. I assumed he hated me too. Every time Dylan got near me, Zachary would glare and warn him, "Stay away from her." So, of course, I thought he was here today to support Tracy. I got out of the car warily. "Zachary Hughes, I thought you had better judgment, but I guess I was wrong." "You okay?" he interrupted in a calm, low voice. "What?" I blinked. "Okay about what? The egg throwing? Not a big deal. Wasn't me, anyway." "But why are you here? To scold me or—" "Evidence," he cut me off again. "Wait, what?" I couldn't even process what he was saying until he handed me a sealed folder. Confused, I opened it and realized it was a detailed list of victims from the landslide that day. Hundreds of names, but not Tracy Myers, not Dylan Carter. They weren't even on the mountain that day. Inside was also a USB stick. Zachary explained, "It's footage, proof that Dylan hired journalists and fabricated injury reports. Fake medical documents, fake news, all of it." My heart dropped. That meant Tracy and Dylan weren't victims at all. They had lied, accused me of trying to hurt them, and faked their injuries for sympathy. It was like something out of a thriller movie. "Zachary, why are you helping me? Getting this kind of information couldn't have been easy." I knew he wasn't rich. Digging this up took resources, time, and effort. People don't go that far unless they care. His voice dropped to a whisper. "Because I like you." "What?" I stared at him, dumbfounded. "I thought you hated me." "I didn't," he said immediately. "Then why'd you always tell Dylan to stay away from me?" One word, jealousy. That single word turned his whole face red. His ears, his neck, even the tips of his fingers. I used to think Zachary was cold, emotionally detached. Turns out he's just adorably awkward. I kept pressing. "Then why didn't you ever tell me all this time?" Zachary Hughes looked straight at me. It took him a long pause before he finally gave an answer. "Because I'm poor," he said, almost laughing at himself. "I'm not good enough for you." He gave a self-deprecating smile. All I could do was stand in the background and watch others openly declare their feelings for you. I couldn't get close, not when I was afraid you'd look down on me, hate me, or never speak to me again. This feeling I have, it means more to me than anything I own. But to you, it probably wouldn't even be worth a penny. So I kept working hard, day after day, like I was chasing a dream that might never come true, just to one day feel worthy of you. But watching you being treated like that, I couldn't take it anymore. "Sorry for liking you." Those were the words Zachary had buried deep inside. I wouldn't even know about them if he hadn't said them out loud just now. I smiled softly. Zachary Hughes, want to join me in taking down some bad guys? For the first time, I didn't see him as cold and distant, just real. That afternoon, I called a press conference, not under my father's name, but in the name of my own company. It wasn't some huge corporation, but it was well known enough. No one expected me to be the founder and CEO. I'd been planning this for a long time. The moment I turned 18, I took it public. Sure, it hadn't yet outshined my dad's company, but this would double as marketing, a two birds, one stone strategy. As soon as I walked into the conference room, dozens of cameras turned to me, and among the crowd, I spotted Tracy Myers and Dylan Carter. Just like I predicted, they weren't going down easy. A few classmates had shown up too, clearly just to enjoy the spectacle. I didn't mind. The more, the merrier. But when they saw Zachary Hughes walking in behind me, their faces changed. They might not have known much about me, but they knew Zachary wasn't someone to mess with. If he sided with me, not even 100 mouths could talk their way out of it. Dylan stepped forward, suspicious. "Did Rachel threaten you or something?" Zachary replied coolly. "I'm here to tell the truth." All the cameras turned toward us. Dylan narrowed his eyes like he'd figured something out. "You're doing this so I won't ignore you anymore, huh, Rachel? You think if Zachary's on your side, I'll be impressed? God, his brain must be made of oatmeal. Rachel, what are you trying to pull now?" Tracy chimed in dramatically. "We'll forgive everything you've done before. Just apologize and pay compensation, and I swear Dylan won't stay mad." Wow, a perfect pair, really. A loser like Dylan Carter? Please. Why would I want that kind of drama? I gave a smug glance up at my company's giant logo on the wall. I've got more money than I know what to do with. Why would I waste time with garbage? Suddenly, Dylan turned to Zachary, face burning with rage. "Don't tell me, you like Rachel Lynn?" Tracy's face darkened immediately, cutting in before Zachary could speak. "No way! He couldn't possibly like someone like Rachel Lynn, right?" "What if I do?" Zachary said quietly. Dylan exploded. "You piece of shit! So you stabbed me in the back all along? You think hanging around Rachel will make her like you? She only ever liked me. You're just a pathetic stand-in, no matter what you do." I saw Zachary Hughes clench his fists, but his face remained calm as he quietly said, "It's fine." At that moment, something in my chest twisted. Wasn't he supposed to be a straight-A genius? How could he be this foolish? Oh my God, what kind of plot twist was this? So intense it could rival a drama series. "Handsome guy, you picked the wrong girl." The loyal hottie just got duped by the evil supporting female. The live stream chat exploded instantly. As for Tracy Myers, her face was darker than charcoal. She stared at me with a hatred so strong, it felt like she might launch herself across the room and strangle me right there. Right on cue, I smiled sweetly and waved at the cameras, even though the journalists weren't exactly looking at me with kindness. Honestly, I thought I was being very gracious for letting my enemies sit up here with me. But the moment the press conference began, someone stood up and asked, "Miss Lynn, why did you harm your classmates?" I turned to the reporter with a sharp gaze. "Why is that the first question you ask me? This is a press conference to clarify the truth. Shouldn't your first question be something else?" The reporter was momentarily stunned, but the room already knew the truth. Well, everyone except for Dylan Carter, apparently. "Tuck, everyone knows you've always been a manipulative person," someone muttered. "Why even ask?" I raised my voice. "Did anyone here actually see me harm them? Anyone at all?" The entire room went silent. From the very start of all this drama, did anyone see me force them to do anything? Did I lay a hand on them? Threaten them? "Rachel Lynn, you knew there was going to be a landslide, and you just let us go," Dylan barked. I rested my chin on my hand and smirked. "Wow, Dylan, I didn't know I could predict the future. Thanks for the heads up. I'll start charging for psychic readings." "Dylan, calm down. Rachel's trying to explain. Let her show her evidence, Zachary said smoothly. Tracy Myers, obviously not expecting me to have any evidence, looked overly confident. She even spoke in that delicate voice of hers that always made people feel like they needed to protect her. But you did see the weather forecast. You should have warned us. There was a storm coming. As she spoke, she lightly touched the bandage on her cheek. Even I had to admit, she looked pitiful. All right, Tracy, I replied sweetly. I'll sponsor a brand new TV for both you and Dylan. Ah, what? Tracy blinked, confused. Oh, sorry. I just didn't realize your family was so poor you couldn't even afford a TV to check the weather. There was a light chuckle in the room. Not loud, but everyone heard it. I turned. It was Zachary Hughes. He was smiling. Rachel Lynn, don't be so arrogant, someone snapped. We're friends, you know. Would it have killed you to just warn us? Would you have died without me? I snapped back. You had your family, your teachers, your other friends. All of them knew you were going hiking. Why didn't they warn you? Was I living in your house? Did I see you not watching the forecast? So why the hell are you acting like it was all my fault? Dylan opened his mouth to argue, then froze. He realized it. If he admitted that I warned the others not to go, he'd be admitting that I did check the forecast, and that would expose their entire lie. If Dylan didn't come up with something fast, there was no way out of this. Sensing the tension rising, Tracy Myers quickly jumped in to play the savior. Rachel, what you're saying makes it sound like we framed you, she said with wide, innocent eyes. We didn't do anything like that. What would we even get out of it? If we knew there was going to be such a huge storm, we wouldn't have gone. And just like that, boom, cue the tears. I swear, if Tracy Myers pursued acting, I wouldn't be surprised if she won Best Actress at next year's Oscars. Then someone in the crowd piped up, Kid, don't think just because you have money, you can attack others. Look at your classmate. She's already been through enough. No one would intentionally hurt themselves like that. Don't you all agree? I came here hoping to evaluate this young CEO, someone else added. But I'm honestly disappointed. A person with talent but no ethics will never go far. If you're willing to apologize to your classmates, our media outlet might give you a more positive write-up. If not, don't expect your company to ever make it big. My ears buzzed. I couldn't tell if the guy had a listening problem or if he was just being willfully ignorant. I glanced at his badge and microphone. BSD, huh? Turning to my assistant, I said, Please contact their chairman. Tell them I'm buying the company. And this guy right here, promote him immediately after we acquire them. Every single one of his future projects, I'll personally oversee them. And also, any outlet that dares to hire him, watch yourselves. I gave the crowd my most pleasant smile. The room fell silent. Wait, she can really do that? Damn, she's a savage CEO. I'm actually starting to like her now. Her logic's sharp. Why did I ever believe the rumors? Social media buzzed in real time. Public opinion was flipping, and I knew. This was my moment to strike back. That last exchange had been so intense that the whole room was frozen. Reporters scrambled to hide their dumb questions. Then another journalist stood up. This one seemed more professional. If you're so confident in your innocence, he asked, do you have any evidence? I don't think anyone meant to hurt their friends, he added, but sometimes our actions hurt people without us realizing it. Tracy Myers put on her I'm the peacekeeper act again. Her words sounded like she was defending me, but the real goal was clear. Paint me as someone without proof. It's okay if you don't have evidence, she said sweetly. We're not blaming you, we just want… I cut her off. Who said I don't have proof? Her smile froze. Her expression started to crack. I gave a small nod to my assistant. He immediately switched the screen to a presentation. A video began to play. Security footage. It showed Dylan Carter, Tracy Myers, and a few others. Applying fake bandages, dabbing on makeup. It was clear they weren't doctors. And even clearer, neither of them had any real injuries. All of it. Elaborate, professional-grade makeup. A full-on performance. The video playing on the screen was taken from a security camera. In it, Dylan Carter, Tracy Myers, and a few others were shown wrapping fake bandages and applying makeup. It was obvious they weren't medical professionals. There were no injuries on Dylan or Tracy, just layers of carefully crafted special effects makeup. The entire room fell completely silent. No, that can't be. How did they get this footage? Dylan panicked and rushed forward to block the screen with his body. The moment he lost control was the moment I was proven innocent. But it didn't matter anymore. The image of them, exposed, humiliated, was now recorded from every angle. Whispers filled the room. So that's what really happened? I can't believe those kids made all this up just to ruin someone's reputation. Stop filming, I muttered, frowning at the blinding flash of the cameras. Without hesitation, Zachary Hughes stepped in front of me, shielding me from the lenses. 18 years of life, and I swear, this was the first time my heart skipped a beat like that. I was still dazed when suddenly a sharp pain hit my stomach. People around me screamed. Zachary's eyes widened with a kind of panic I'd never seen in him before. Everything spiraled into chaos. Tracy Myers snapped. She screamed like she'd lost her mind. "Rachel Lynn, you should have died. Why is it someone like you gets to live in luxury while I have to suffer in poverty? Why? I hate you. I hate the way you look at me like I'm beneath you. Everything you have. It should have been mine, you bitch." Security dragged her away as she kicked and screamed. As for me, I collapsed into Zachary Hughes' arms. I wanted to tell him, "It's just a small injury. I'm okay." But the blood wouldn't stop, and I was scared. I was scared I really might die. I hadn't even spent all my money yet. How could I die like this? I don't remember how long I was unconscious. It just felt like I was trapped in a long, deep dream. In that dream, old memories resurfaced, moments when I hadn't noticed it. But Zachary was always watching me. That gaze, full of pain, patience, restraint. Ah, so that was what it was. Love. He had loved me all along. I could feel my body had been through multiple surgeries, just when I thought I was dying for good. I woke up, and the first thing I saw was Zachary Hughes staring at me blankly. An 18-year-old boy, already had facial hair. It grew awkwardly, just under his chin. It looked ridiculous. I almost laughed. He hadn't expected me to wake up. He froze for a second, then quickly hit the call button for the doctor. Before my family arrived, he stood in front of me. His voice was pained as he spoke. "I'm sorry, I couldn't protect you." Zachary Hughes stood there, eyes full of guilt. I later heard from others that after stabbing me, Tracy Myers took advantage of the chaos to flee the scene. But she didn't expect what was waiting for her downstairs, right in the lobby of the building where the press conference had taken place. The very same mob from the morning, the ones who had thrown eggs, were there waiting for her. They had initially felt sorry for Tracy, so they didn't press charges. Instead, each of them had to pay nearly $300 in damages out of their own pockets. Now that the truth was out, that they had been manipulated, they weren't letting her off the hook. Before the police arrived, Tracy Myers was beaten within an inch of her life. Eventually, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Dylan Carter was arrested and charged with defamation and extortion. As for the other classmates who had joined in slandering me online, I compiled all their statements and sent them to the universities they had been accepted to. The result? Some were forced to repeat a year, others expelled. Meanwhile, my company, after all the drama, got a massive boost in visibility. Going public felt like tossing a fish back into water. First-month revenue jumped by 46%. That day, netizens were in a frenzy, leaving all kinds of comments online. But one comment caught my eye. "That guy seems to really like Rachel Lynn. I wonder if they ever got together." There were hundreds of replies speculating, but I answered it directly. "What do you mean got together?" I typed while sitting in Zachary Hughes' lap. He was gently playing with my fingers when I leaned in and gave him a quick kiss. He wasn't just my boyfriend anymore. After I graduated, he became my husband. It took a while, but even his company went public just yesterday. And now, everything from the past is behind us.